Good morning, authors, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world today. Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. And what we're going to do today is we're going to take a deep dive into lead magnets and how they can help you get in front of your audience, how they can help you sell more books, and how they can help you grow your author platform. I'm Dr. Saundra Dalton-Smith, and when my first book released back in 2011, I didn't have a lead magnet and really struggled with this process of connecting with readers and getting that transition from just that initial contact with them with having ongoing lasting relationships. And so let's take a look at how do we process through and get from that place of always struggling to find the readers that we want to connect with to having a way of connecting with them automatically through a lead magnet. Now, the first thing I want us to take a look at is really what our agenda is for today. We're going to take a look at why you need a lead magnet. We're going to look at some types of lead magnets that are very effective and that work for both nonfiction and fiction authors. And we're going to go through this process of where do you place the lead magnet? How do you put one together? What are some steps that you need to take to get that created? And then finally, the process of automating it, so that your platform growth isn't this ongoing battle, but you have automated it so that you simply just show up and apply your lead magnet to the situation, and it does the work for you. Now, this is what happens. If you're an author without a lead magnet, you've probably struggled with staying connected with your readers. You may have small moments where you get a group together at an event, and then you have no way of connecting with them again. Or you may be seeing very little return on your time investment. You've done lots of radio and TV and interviews. You may even have done a slew of guest blog posts and saw very little return from that. Or you might be finding that you have a very difficult time getting some additional non-book opportunities, like being invited to speak. Now, when you have a lead magnet, what happens is you end up having easy access to your readers through your email subscriber list, because that's how they connect with your lead magnet. You also are able to convert those media interviews and those guest post opportunities into platform growth and book sales. Because now, once they get your lead magnet, you have a way of continuing to share with them about your books, your products, and your services. And finally, you end up with more open doors because people know how to connect with you. They learn how to stay connected in a way that they can ask you to come speak, or they can have you participate in their different activities, and you're able to grow and build those relationships. So what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is simply a highly desirable freebie offer that you give to your target audience. And it has to be something that they really desire, something that they are willing to give their email address to you. Because let's be honest, we get lots of emails in our inboxes. And so this has to be something that is a no-brainer for them. They automatically want to receive it. They see the value in it, and they're willing to give you their contact information to stay connected. Upon accepting that offer, what happens is this then places that person in your email nurture sequence, and they get added to your email server platform as one of your subscribers. Once they're a subscriber, then what you do is you're going to have a series of automated emails in a strategic pattern that engages them and lets them know more about who you are and what you have to offer, whether that's your books and the different types of books that you have, if there's a series, or if there's other services you've created outside of your book. Because I really believe that a book really is just the beginning, and then you create additional products from your book that'll also help build your book sales and grow. And the thing is, the best lead magnets are those that align with your book's topics and themes. And so you don't want to have a book that, let's say, is about gardening, and then your lead magnet is going to be about health, because now there's a bit of a disconnect. They're coming in thinking that you're going to be talking about a certain topic, and you've flipped things on them and talking about something completely different. It helps to have a really good idea of what your author brand is going into this, because you want to know what your audience is expecting from you. What are the topics that they're expecting you to speak on? And usually those are the ones that are aligning with your book theme. Now let's take a look at 5 features of effective lead magnets. The first feature is that they focus on a felt need. When you're thinking about creating a lead magnet, you're going to want to think about your reader and have the lead magnet be reader focused. What is it that your readers desire? What problems are they working through? Is there a specific need that they have? Is there a specific type of encouragement that they're seeking? You want to be as specific and as targeted as possible. A catch-all lead magnet will catch none. It has to be something that the specific person who would buy your book would be looking for information in that area. Now, what you use as a lead magnet is completely up to you, because there are so many different ways of doing this. And I want to give you a few ideas based on if you're a nonfiction writer versus if you're a fiction writer. My fiction friends have a tendency to think that lead magnets aren't for them. Yes, they are. So if you're a nonfiction writer, we'll start with you first. Those are a little bit easier. Anything from a quiz to a checklist. Quiz can be automated online where they click buttons and get a response, or it can be more of a checklist where it's a PDF where someone goes down the list and checks off whether or not something applies to them. Video, webinars are a great type of lead magnet because you can pre-record them and then have them set up on different webinar-based platforms to look as if they're playing live, and people can engage with others that are watching at the same time. You can also have mini courses, and these mini courses can be done on things like Teachable or Thinkific or Udemy or any of these course platforms where you create video and written content that work together to help someone solve something or improve an area. And when I say mini course, I'm not talking about a 6-week intensive. These are just maybe 3, 10, 15, 20-minute videos that teaches on a topic and then has some written content so that the person is getting an idea about the book, but an idea about your topic, but you're not giving them the entire book within this information. Another great way of doing this as a nonfiction author would be 15-minute coaching sessions. Some people don't think about this as a lead magnet, but depending on your area of expertise and your areas of topics that you share, that can be a very powerful way of getting people interested in your books, as well as any services that you may offer. This works great for life coaches and any type of coach who has a book in addition to services. So think about that, the 15-minute coaching session. And these are what I call laser coaching sessions. You're not trying to solve all of their problems in the 15 minutes. What you're doing is you're addressing the felt need. You're helping them identify the area where you can assist. And then finally, exclusive online communities are another great way for nonfiction authors to connect with their readers as a lead magnet. You offer access to a Facebook group that you only get in if you come in through that email subscription, or it could be a group that you're having on some other platform. There are so many out there now that you can actually have your own communities outside of like Facebook. So many different platforms to look at. I won't go into all the different platforms for some of these. With the quizzes, that was my personal favorite. And I'm going to share with you how I used a quiz to grow my own personal email list from initially 2,000. And it took me like 7 years to grow that list to 2,000. And in a course of little over a year, it grew to over 30,000 with one lead magnet. And that was a quiz. And it's continued to grow since then. And so I'm going to show you some details of how that happened. And it was a simple quiz through my website. It was through WordPress, through a plugin. And so some of these things are not rocket science. I am not someone who's a whiz with computers. I create many lead magnets since then. PDFs can be easily done on Canva. If you're not familiar with Canva, it's a graphic design platform that is free with a paid version as well. But you can get most of this done without even having to do that. And so I welcome you to kind of start looking at some of these different ways of getting your lead magnet created without having to have someone else do it for you, because a lot of these are things you can do yourself. Now, for fiction authors, lead magnets are still necessary, and some great things that I've seen some fiction authors do include action guides. And so if you're someone who you're writing fiction, but your fiction is on a theme, maybe it's talking about identity, or maybe it's talking about exploration, or maybe it's talking about something specifically in the sciences or in a specific area, think about a way that you can create a guide that helps people learn more about that topic. And so if you've done the research, because to write a great fiction book, you did some research. If you've done the research on that topic, why let the research just go to waste? You've written the book, you still have this research, all of which you did not get to put into the book, because that would be overwhelming. Because most of us who enjoy fiction, we don't want all the research. We want you to sneak it in there so we don't know we're reading it. But you're going to have some people who want to go deeper, especially those who really love that topic. And so an action guide that kind of it's like an additional resource guide that takes them on the journey of the research that you did. Another one would be a video series. Think about ways of taking the information from your book, from your fiction book, the characters, their background, maybe some of their backstory that you didn't elaborate on, and start doing a video series related to that. Another would be recipes. If you talk about someone eating something in your book and it's something unique, what a great way to kind of incorporate the conversation by adding on, hi, get these 3-4 recipes that are discussed within my book. And then you can share a little bit of the story about those recipes if they have some kind of interesting history that go along with them. Short story ebooks are another great way of bringing in a new audience. And so when you're thinking about your book, was there a pre-story that maybe you didn't go deep into, or maybe there's something that would kind of help set up the foundation of your fiction book? Consider an e-story, a novella that you put together that helps introduce maybe your characters initially before they go deep into the full book. Any extra chapters. During the editing process, if you had to cut 2 or 3 chapters that you loved, but you really thought were necessary and had some good content, and those early chapters, some of those can be utilized to help someone get familiar with your writing and with your writing style. I'm often asked, is it a good idea to have a first chapter as your lead magnet? So you'll have on your website, hey, get the first chapter of my fiction book, and that's your lead magnet. That is usually not a very effective lead magnet, and here's why. Because you can go on most of the online stores and read the first chapter of any book for free. So if I can flip on Amazon and go into the look inside feature and read that same information, why would I give you my email address for that? You want it to be something that's exclusive, that's unique, that they're not being able to get anywhere else unless they get it directly through your subscription with that lead magnet. And then finally is audiobooks. And so audiobooks can be a great way to bring in a new audience, especially if your standard books are in audiobook form. So if you have a short story and you find that most of your audience tends to gravitate toward purchasing your audiobook versions, you may want to make an audiobook version of your short stories and have that be a lead magnet. So that introductory novella that you're going to bring your audience in with, it can be in an audiobook form as well, so that you capture both sides of that audience. Now, the next part of an effective lead magnet is that it needs to be related to your book. Your lead magnet should build interest in your book so that after they engage with it, they then want more. it then kind of creates this hunger for more information about what you've already shared. Now, when you're doing this, you want to give it it needs to be value rich. So you don't want to give them a lot of fluff. You want to give value rich information, but it needs to be from the 10,000 foot view. You're not going to give them everything that's in your book, because then why buy the book? What you want to give them is an overview so that they have just enough information to know that they need more information, because that's what's going to make them then do the deep dive to getting the entire book to go through. Now, a reader-focused lead magnet can look like, as I mentioned to you, a quiz. So my very first book that came out, when it came out, I had no idea any of these things were even needed or necessary. So I did all types of radio and TV and all of these things. And I'm like, why is no one buying the book? Why? I mean, there were sales, don't get me wrong, but it was nothing like I expected, considering the amount of work that I was putting in to doing all of this to get the word out about the book. And then after the first and second book, and I started in the second book seeing how this worked, I developed my very first lead magnet with my second book, and I did it as a challenge. So it's a 5-day challenge. And I noticed how many people were signing up for this challenge, because I would mention it after the end of every radio and TV show. Join my 5-day challenge. And the 5-day challenge gave a couple of pages from the book specifically, as that book was a devotional. So it had 80 different devotions. So I gave them like 5 of them that weren't in the beginning. They were like spread throughout the book. They wouldn't be able to find this on the Amazon Look Inside feature. And that brought in a lot of sales. So going into my third book, I thought, I'm going to build the lead magnet into the book. So as I'm writing the book, chapter 3, I talk about the lead magnet. I talk about go to restquiz.com and find out which of the 7 types of rest you need before we go into the discussion of the 7 types of rest, so that now we have a foundation of what needs to improve before you even start reading the book. So I engrossed it into the book. On top of that, I made it available online so that as I'm talking to people, I could share with them, hey, after the end of a radio interview, hey, you can go to my site and take the quiz and determine which type of rest you need most. And so people who've read the book are being sent to the lead magnet. People who have never read the book but have just heard me talk about it are being led to the lead magnet. And what happens is both get on your email list. That's when the magic happens, because now you have people who are highly engaged because they're already in the book, and you have people that you are bringing into the fold as you have time to share more with them about your topic and your theme. So this simple quiz was something, as I mentioned, was made on WordPress. It's extensive. Now, it's something that I had to do some background research to make sure that all of the details were proper, but your quiz could be 5 questions. I've seen people do this with just 3 or 4 questions, multiple different ways of assessing information so that people find it beneficial. One of the keys is to make sure that when you're creating a reader-focused lead magnet, is that you're making it so that it's something they really want. And assessments and checklist and entertainment, those are things that people crave. Now, the next part of an effective lead magnet is that you can easily assess it online. You want this to be something that people can find on your website, and when they get to it, they're not trying to figure out how it works or what they do or where do they put their email. It should be super easy for them to navigate, and it should be easy for you to deliver the lead magnet or the freebie product at the end. Now, one thing that I found to be very effective is a custom URL. Now, my lead magnet, if I were to type it in full form, would be something like, I choose my best life / rest dash quiz dash 2021 dash session A dash. If I had to say all of that on a radio show, nobody would ever find it. It's too much information. And so most of the time when we create things on our website, there's all these words that are attached to it, and it's too much. So a custom URL simplifies the process. It is so much easier to say, visit restquiz.com. And I sometimes am asked, how in the world did you get that URL? Because it's so simple, nobody was going to use it. It's not super creative. You don't need a super creative lead magnet URL. You need something people can remember. You need something that when the person gets off work and they're listening to the drive time radio on the way home and they hear you talk about your book and then you mention your lead magnet, you don't want them to have to think, now, what was the name of it again? You want it to be so super easy that they can't forget it. Creativity, leave it for the books. Marketing, make it simple. People need to be able to recall how to get to that URL. The simpler, the better. The next thing you want to make sure you do is connect it with your email platform. Now, there are so many different email platforms out there, from ConvertKit to MailChimp to MailerLite to Flowdesk, you name it. There's so many of them that are out there. You choose which one feels right for you. Some come with a couple of thousand free. Some jump right into the paid service. And yes, having an email list does cost money, but it is so much cheaper to build up that email list and have ongoing customers for your future books than it is to have to try to go find customers every time you write a book or every time you want to introduce a product. And so the main purpose of that lead magnet really is to just build that email subscriber list. That is the goal. The email subscriber list is golden as an author, because what it does is it gives you a dedicated group of people who are ready to buy your books, who are excited about your writing, who want to hear more from you. And this is the quickest way to build your author platform. You know, author platform in the past has really been highly focused on social media, and social media is still great. But as we're seeing, social media also has a lot of control over how much of your content your audience sees. So we're dealing with algorithms on all sides, and we're dealing with how much visibility different posts are getting. That's the limitations with social media. You should still do it. Social media is still very effective for author platform building, but email list allows you direct access to your readers. And so you're able to build up that relationship and you maintain control. And that is why this is such an effective way of getting the word out about your books. Now, I want to show you what an effective lead magnet growth can look like for an email. As I mentioned, when I first started, my email list was around 2,000, and it steadily grew. And I just took a snapshot from one of the areas, and what you can see, it grew from September 2018 to August 2019, from about 6,000 to right under 20,000 in that year time period. That is an excessive amount of growth. And I want to show you how this keeps going, because the thing to keep in mind, the growth of your lead magnet is highly tied in with the visibility of your lead magnet. And so one of the things that I'm a huge fan of is combining the lead magnet with media opportunities. Because now what happens is you take the already preset platform of whatever media you're going into with the power of your lead magnet. And so you're getting the access to their audience being added to your audience. And so I'll show you an example. I recently did what we called a summit. And so I'm not sure if you're familiar with those, but a summit is where you have like video content that's free. You give a 30-minute talk, and there might be 10 other people that are speaking. And so you all get the benefit of being able to offer a freebie or offer your lead magnet to the people on the list who sign up for the summit. And so I just recently completed one of those. And this is the type of growth you can get from just one activity. This was one 30-minute talk that was pre-recorded and placed on a summit. I gained in 1 month as many people as I had built up my email list in like that period between 2011 to like 2017 when my third book released. I had 2,000 people. So that was like, what, 7 years of 6, 7 years to get that 2,000. Where now with an effective lead magnet, I'm able to get the same number of people in 1 month with one media opportunity. You can compound this as much as you like. It really depends on how many places can you place your lead magnet so that you can get it in front of more people who are interested in what you're trying to offer them. Now, the last thing I want you to think about of the 5 keys to an effective lead magnet is that you wanted to have a call to action. Don't just have a lead magnet where they get great information and now they're on your email list. That's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but offer them your book. That's what you're wanting the lead magnet to do. Let them know there's something that they can do next. Give them the next step. So tell them, hey, if you'd like to learn more about this topic, go here and get a copy of and share about your book. If you enjoyed reading or listening to this novella, go here and continue the story with whoever your characters are and offer your book. Whatever it is that you want them to do as that next step, place that call to action within your nurture sequence of your lead magnet. So sometimes at the bottom of a lead magnet, so after they get the PDF, the last part of the PDF might have where they can go to buy the book. If it's something that you're doing like a video, then you may give a verbal call to action at the end of the video, sharing with them where they can go to buy your book or purchase whatever your next service or step is you want them to engage with. The key is to make sure that you are just not dropping them off the cliff, that you're just not giving them great information and getting them on your email list without mentioning the fact that you have more that they can engage with. Now, where do you place a lead magnet? This is an important question because some of you have lead magnets, but they're not doing anything. They're gathering dust and nobody's engaging with them. So let's take a look at some ways of getting your lead magnet out there so that you can effectively get people signed up and onto your list. The first thing I want you to take a look at is, this is my website homepage. If you notice on the screen, there are 3 places in this top 1/3 of the screen where it mentions my lead magnet. Now, some of it's a little bit subtle and some of it's in your face. I recommend both. I have a pop-up that comes up every 30 days for anyone who is not signed up to my list. So if you come to the site to check out blog posts or different things, in 30 days, it'll pop up again. And so that lead magnet is just kind of an invitation. Oh, well, come on and get some happiness delivered into your inbox, or I send inspirational type things to you. That is the one in the center, a little happiness for your inbox. If you look at the very top where there it says, yes, sign me up, and it says need tips to help you live your best life now, which is the name of my blog, I Choose My Best Life. That is the very top border header where I put the lead magnet as well. And then directly under there, you'll see a graphic that says, take the rest quiz. Find out what type of rest you've been missing. That is the quiz lead magnet. And so when someone clicks onto my author website, The very first screen that pops up gives them 3 opportunities to engage. So if they close out the little happiness for you now inbox, they still have 2 other ones that are on the screen. You do not want your lead magnet to be something that can be easily dismissed. You want it to be something that is consistently being offered up to your reader when they come to your website. Do not be afraid to change how it looks. And so as you see the Take the Rest quiz now, that doesn't look like a lead magnet. It's not asking you right now for your email address. It's not telling you to put something in here to subscribe. It's giving an opportunity to engage with something that you would want, that those who come to my site would be interested in. And so go to Canva. I love Canva because you can create some really cool graphics with no talent whatsoever. Go to Canva, because that's how that one was made. And think about whatever your current lead magnets are and create a cool graphic that you can put on your website that invites people to engage with that lead magnet. Now, when someone clicks on that Take Quiz Now link, it takes them into the actual quiz, where at the end it asks for their email address and their name and tells them they're going to get subscribed to my list, and they get their results in the email after they submit all of that. Another way of adding your lead magnet in a cool way so that people get more exposure to you, even if they haven't purchased your books yet, is to utilize Author Central. So on Amazon, when you put your books on, you have access to Author Central, which lets you create an author profile. Now, in your author profile, what I find that most authors fail to do is talk about their lead magnet. And I find that most also fail to connect their blog post. As you can see, I do both. Author Central is a gold mine because people who enjoy your books are likely to want to see what else you have to offer. So they read one, and then they want to go back and see what else is it that I can purchase from her or him. And so you want to make sure that all your books are listed under your author profile. You want to connect your blog post or your website if you have an RSS feed and you're constantly updating information. Author Central will update that information as well. If you have a book trailer, if you have any additional information that can help someone connect with you, add those videos as well. And finally, under the author bio, if you can see in yellow, put your lead magnet top and center, because you're basically offering up a freebie that your audience would want. And so you're giving them a direct call to action. So I have them visit, I tell them what they're going to get there, and then I go into my standard bio where they can learn who I am and what I do and all that other great bio stuff. But the number one thing I want to do is to have them engage with me. I don't want them to have a one-time quick, oh, well, that's a cool author profile on Amazon. Let me move on to the next thing. I want them to engage. I want to integrate them into my tribe, because then I can continue to have conversation with them long after they've flipped off of that page. Another place to place a lead magnet on any type of ebook platform would be inside the ebook itself. This is from a friend of mine's book who has a book on how to best utilize Amazon. And he offers, as you can see, directly under the endorsements. Before you even get to the introduction at the beginning of the book, the very first thing after you flip the page open, a free gift for you. Now, this is the cool thing about that. Because of where he's placed it, and you can notice that after the conclusion, he listed again, my free gift for you. He put the lead magnet in there twice. Why? Because lead magnets are how you grow your author platform. He puts it the first time in the section that has the look inside. So that section where before you even buy the book, you flip it open and you can learn a little bit about the book and the author. The first mention of the lead magnet is in that section. So whether somebody buys the book or not, obviously they're somewhat interested. They're flipping inside and reading you're likely to get some hits on your lead magnet there, because people are curious. They're wanting to know, well, what else is there? How does this author write? How do they communicate? So place your lead magnet in the very beginning of your book. You can put a graphic, you can just put some verbiage to let people know what it is they're getting, along with a custom URL that's short and easy for them to go to if they're in the written book form, or you can make it clickable, obviously, in the ebook form. But you want it to be a custom URL because you want it to be something that's simple, so that if they're flipping through the portion of the book that is a hardcover copy of the book, they can simply just go type it in and still access that lead magnet. And then he places it again at the end of the book, because now someone's actually gone through your content. They may have forgot completely about the lead magnet at the beginning, but at the conclusion of the book, you're then inviting them in to learn more about you, to get connected, and to really to go deeper into the topic, because the lead magnet should always give some additional information, should add a little bit more to this experience that they're having. Another place to place a lead magnet, if this has been your struggle, is any time you do any type of media. Specifically, online media is excellent. This is one where I'm sharing with you where a specific website used my quiz, one of the 8 quizzes every person should take. Right along, the number 1 was Myers-Briggs, number 2 was the Enneagram, number 3 was the 7 types of rest. And they directly link, that line under the 7 types of rest is directly linked to restquiz.com. Now, this is the interesting thing. I didn't actually ask them to do this. This was just someone found the lead magnet and liked it and then shared it out with their people. And so if you effectively find a lead magnet that truly meets a need and helps people to feel as if they gained value from it, your lead magnet can take a life of its own. I cannot begin to tell you how many opportunities have come from one effective lead magnets, from TED.com interviews, CNN interviews, things from one lead magnet. And the beauty of that is because the lead magnet is related to the book. You should not have a solitary lead magnet that's not related to your book. Because it's related to the book, they are more compelled to discuss your book and share about your books within the comments and within the commentary. Now, a few other places to place your lead magnet so that you get maximum exposure every time that you create a new lead magnet. And you should have many. I have the one that we mentioned, ReaderSquiz. I have a couple of ebooks. I have a couple of videos. I have a couple that are just like checklists. So I have multiple lead magnets for all types of reasons. I have challenges, as I mentioned to you. So you don't have to just have one. Consider it almost like A/B testing. Have multiple lead magnets, see what resonates with people, see what people are most likely to connect with. For this book, Sacred Rest, the one with the rest quiz, I had that, and as well as a challenge. And the 30-day Sacred Rest challenge, because I think it was so long, 30 days, was too much. People were like, oh, I'm stressed, I'm tired, it's too much. And so the A/B testing showed that the quiz, where they could get an immediate response, had a much better conversion rate than the challenge, where people actually had to make a commitment. So that's a great thing to keep in mind with your lead magnets. A lot of the studies that have been done looking at this show that people are more in tune to lead magnets where they get an immediate gratification. They can immediately get an answer. They can immediately get that inspiration or that knowledge or that hope or that problem solved or whatever it is. They want it fast. They don't want to spend 30 days figuring it out. Now, challenges from 3 to 5 days work much better because people that's more of a short-term commitment. And so if that's something you've been interested in, those do work much better. Now, where to place that lead magnet? These are some final ways to consider how to grow using a lead magnet. Your email signature box. You can have a one-liner that mentions whatever your lead magnet is with a link to it. Every time you write a guest post for someone's blog, or you write an online article where you give your author bio and you're sharing about, I'm the author of this, that, and the other, and I enjoy this, that, and the other. You're adding all of that commentary. More important than all of that would be to place a mention of your lead magnet. Visit my website and then include the lead magnet link to receive a free whatever, or to download my whatever. Because what happens is, if your blog post has created interest and they've enjoyed what they've read, they like your writing style, now you're giving them a reason to go to your website. They're not just going to go to your website because they want to hang out with you, because that's not even going to have any kind of ongoing connection. But if you're offering them something on your website, in your bio, or even in the article itself, it drives them to that connection point, which is what you want. Anytime you're printing up bookmarks, promotional material, make a little QR code that takes people to your lead magnet, or have a quick custom URL that they can type in. I like the QR codes because people have cell phones, most are smartphones. They can scan the back, engage with the lead magnet on the spot right there at whatever author event that you're participating in. Every time you do a social media profile bio, consider including your lead magnet. It's a way for people to learn more about you, and you're giving them something. So you're not just asking them to sign up for a newsletter, you're actually giving them something, and you're making an immediate promise up front so they know, oh, this is what I get when I put in my email address. Also on your social media post. So periodically, when you are sharing things on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest and all the places, make sure that you mention your lead magnet. So maybe once or twice a month, maybe once or twice a week. I wouldn't overkill it, but if you have lots of lead magnets, you can offer things throughout the month. But if you just have one, maybe once or twice a month, go in and invite people to engage with that lead magnet. Have you downloaded my free action guide on, and you post it there? And then in the picture, you show the picture of the PDF that you created on Canva. And so you have a great graphic that's drawing people in. You have the promise and everything that's in your comments, and then you have the link. And so they're able to stay engaged with those lead magnets for those new people that come onto your social media sites. If you're a speaker, at the end of every presentation that I speak on in relation to my book, I always tell them about checking out the quiz, because that way they can get engaged and find out which type of rest that they need. So it's a way of kind of communicating extra value while also building that author platform. You can also do the same with any media interviews. I have yet to see a radio, TV, or podcast host who does not want to give more to their audience. And so when your lead magnet adds value, they are more than happy to share it with their audience. They will put it on the show notes page. They will flash it across the little thing at the bottom of the screen to make sure that their audience is aware of it. They will help you build your platform because they want to give that extra bit of information to their followers. And then last is influencer marketing. And so if you have a friend who has a bigger platform than yours, then one way you can use that lead magnet is to ask a friend to share about it on their email, to their email list. And so if you have a great lead magnet that aligns with your friend's theme and branding, that can be a great way of kind of building together. And you can do this with each other. And so I often find that we'll have authors who write on similar topics, but they're not in competition. They're more kind of synergistic type writing. So I write on health, wellness, burnout prevention. And so I'm friends with 5 or 6 authors who write on the very same topic. We all have books with the words rest in them. And what we do is we mesh our audiences together because we understand that these people are hungry for this topic. And since our writing styles and the things that we focus on are not identical, we have a synergistic audience that we can actually work together and build all of our list at the same time. And so that's another way of using your lead magnet, because you could just ask someone with a similar audience, hey, would you mind sharing about whatever your freebie is? And you do the same for them. And so you both end up building up your list. Now, this is the thing about author platforms. They are hard to grow, but when combined with the media, they grow much faster. So media opportunities plus those plus an effective lead magnet will equal a robust author platform. You will have more opportunities because visibility kind of breeds more visibility. Each opportunity that you see on this image here was an opportunity for my lead magnet to get in front of new people. So whether that's a TV show, and yes, that's Dr. Oz at the bottom, and TEDx and all of the different publications, each opportunity was an opportunity to share about the lead magnet. Every time you share about the lead magnet, people get on your email list. And people get on your email list, now you have an opportunity to nurture that relationship. Send more emails that are beneficial, that are sharing content that they like, and sharing a call to action for things that they can purchase or engage with so that they continue to grow that relationship with you. And ultimately, that platform leads to author success. You know, one of the things that I'm finding is a lot of authors want to be able to have those bestseller tags attached to their name. Well, let me tell you, those bestseller tags are great, but what's even greater is to know that you are actually getting your words out there to people and they're benefiting from it. You know, my favorite part of the whole journey with the lead magnet is to know the number of people being affected. I took these pictures kind of about over a year ago now, 2019. And so both books have been on bestseller lists multiple times since then. And the number of reviews is now almost up to 500, still at a 4.7 rating out of 5. And so when I look at that and I'm thinking about as how do you define success as an author? It's not always about the numbers. It's not always about the bestseller list. For me, it's about, am I affecting people's lives? As a physician, that's been a huge thing for me. I want people to feel better, to not live burned out, to enjoy their life, to choose their best life, as my website says. And so to be able to get in front of and engage with more people means bigger impact, means more lives change, means I'm doing what I feel I was called to do as an author. And for me, that is true author success. So however you define author success, lead magnets are a great way to begin that process to get there. Now, I want you to think about some questions because I told you a whole lot about lead magnets, but I want you to think about what is an offer that you can give digitally to your ideal readers, something that they cannot resist. And because they want it so badly, they will give you their email address. Because once you can identify a couple of those digital, start with just one, digital things that you can provide to them, that's when you start seeing some major changes and major increase within your author platform. And I want you to keep in mind that these are things that you offer digitally. You don't want to have to mail somebody your lead magnet. Your lead magnet should be automated, where you have it as part of your welcome sequence. So once they put in their for whatever the lead magnet is on the side of your email server platform, you have a welcome email that's automatically generated that tells them how to download that freebie. It could be a direct link to a Google Drive. It could be a direct link to a quiz where it automatically sends out the quiz reply. It could be a direct link to a hidden YouTube or Vimeo video that maybe is password protected, or if it's unlisted, just the link, so that they are getting access to something that other people would not have access to unless they signed up to your list. Multiple ways of setting up the automation of that delivery. But you do not want to have to be physically involved with the exchange of this lead magnet. Because think about it, if you get on a great media opportunity and 2,000 people in 1 month, do you want to send 2,000 emails for those lead magnets? Absolutely not. It needs to be fully automated. Think about what value could you continue to provide to those people who do sign up once they get on your email list. Death to an author's email subscriber list is lack of activity. When's the last time you've actually engaged with those people on your email list? At the bare minimum, it should be at least bi-weekly, every other week. You should at least be sending them something just to let them know, hey, I'm alive. I'm still doing stuff. And if you get in the middle of writing, and I understand writing deadlines can really take you on a ride. So if you get really busy in the writing process, what I do sometimes is I'll send an email once a month during that hard writing season where you're trying to meet your deadlines. And I'll say, hey guys, writing my next book. This one's going to be awesome. I'm not going to be on here too often. Just know I'm thinking about you. Off. Your emails do not have to be major long. They do not have to be full blog post length. These are people who have connected with you. And if you spend some time in the beginning nurturing that relationship with a nurture sequence, a sequence of automated emails that come out in the first month or so of them joining your list, then when you send that quick email during your writing season, they understand. Plus, did you catch what I did there? Now they know another book's coming. So now they can get a little bit excited. Oh, the next one's on the way. And you're continuing that process and building that tribe. And you're nurturing that relationship all along because you're not treating them like strangers where you don't have to be accountable to them and let them know why you're not engaging this month. You're keeping that respect between the two of you. Make sure that you include call to actions in every lead magnet that you do. Do not miss that opportunity to allow people to know that there's something more that they can receive from you. And whenever you do any type of media or speaking opportunities, think about how are you going to bring in that lead magnet. Think about your next time you're going to get in front of an audience. What is a way that you can introduce your lead magnet towards the end of that presentation so that they understand that there's more ways of connecting with you? And really, what is your next step right now? We're in the middle of this 3-day conference. You're going to learn a lot of great information with each speaker that you listen to. Don't just take in the information. Think about your next step. What is the next thing that you need to do so that you can implement all of the great information that you learn? So in closing, I want us to make sure that you understand that the big part of this is integrating your tribe, integrating them in a way that every time you are in front of new people, you bring them into the fold as future fans of your writing. You want to do that every time you speak. You want to do that every time you share information. Don't leave money on the table. Make sure that you're making additional offers and letting people know about other services and products you have related to your book. Because once they're on your email list, you can share about your courses. That's probably the #1 way I make passive income. Courses associated with my books. So they buy the book, awesome. Then they want more, they buy the course, even better. Or then they want more, they may want to do a coaching, even better. So multiple ways of taking a book idea and your finished product and letting it build out an author business and build out your author platform. And so let's stop having these one-time contacts with readers by just showing up in a place, talking about our book, and then leaving without giving them opportunities to engage with your lead magnet and to become email subscribers, because that's the only way you're going to ensure that you have a steady flow and ready access to future fans of your work. It has been a pleasure to get a chance to share with you today. I hope that each and every one of you take some of this information, start thinking about what lead magnets are going to be most beneficial for you and your audience. I'd love for you to connect with me. My website is ichoosemybestlife.com/author support, where you can learn more about me and my writings and everything, as well as if you are someone who enjoys paid writing opportunities, you can check me out there as well. I have a growing community where we share about paid writing opportunities so that you can continue to grow your author platform. Oh, looks like we have some questions from the chat. Excellent. Do you have workshops I can attend? Yes, there are workshops. If you visit I Choose My Best Life /author support, you'll learn about some different workshops and things there. I will be doing a booth session around 2 p.m., well, actually 2:30 p.m. Central Time to talk about my book, Sacred Rest, and would love to have some of you join me there because we can go over some ideas as well. And I'll share a little bit more about how I integrated kind of that concept inside of the book. Because if you're in the process of writing your next book or your current book, then that might be something of interest as well, because integrating the marketing inside of your book is powerful. And I never thought to do that before this third book. You grow as you continue with writing, but integrating marketing inside of the book is powerful. Lots of different ways of increasing your reach. And actually, if you're a speaker, increasing your speaking opportunities by, let me give you a quick tip here since we have a little bit of time. If you're a speaker and you're writing a nonfiction book, somewhere in the book, talk about you speaking. What happens is you create that visual in the person's mind that's reading, and it automatically kind of sets you up as an author speaker, which then will increase your invites, increase the number of people coming to ask you. And then on the back pages, include a way for them to connect with you if they want to have you come speak with the organization. You are very welcome. I'm getting some of the chats over in the side here. You're very welcome. Glad that you found it informative. And as I stated, one of the main things is just really to decide what type of lead magnet for yourself your audience would most engage with. Because the greater the amount of engagement, the greater amount of success it will have. If you have questions, feel free to type them in the comments, and the team will shoot those over for me to see. Otherwise, I welcome you to spend some time after this to head over to the booths. Lots of authors sharing about their books and their new products that have come out. So make sure to spend some time over in the booths today. And then be sure to jump back in tomorrow as well as we go deeper into some of the topics like branding to help you be able to get to that place where your books are selling like wildfire.